Hey, everybody. Welcome to Faith in an Ever Changing World, Encouragement and Hope. And my guest today is Jeff Peterson. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure.
Ah, and I am catching up with Jeff Peterson today. Jeff is a broadcaster, social media influencer, a filmmaker, and most recently, an advocate to those with Down syndrome. And so, thank you again, Jeff, for joining me. And boy, we're looking forward to hearing more about what you're doing and what God has given you to do in this season. So, right after our brief introduction, we'll be back to talk with Jeff. So, hold on, stay with us. Wow. And that was a trailer for Jeff's short film, which he's going to tell us about. Wow, it's powerful. I have seen it. And so you just a great job, Jeff.
And I
So
promise it's not scary either. It's not scary.
no, 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 it isn't. It's very informational too. Uh,
Right.
yes, yes. So, if you will, tell us how God has been opening doors for you to be an advocate for those with Down syndrome.
Well, I think the last time we talked, I had mentioned kind of how, I kind of got to that point.
Right?
And whoever's watching this, go back and watch the first show that she did with me. But how I got here, is it was all God because I never planned
Hmm.
this out.
Yes.
I don't think it's
Hmm.
something you plan out, but I was surrounded with a lot of great people,
Mm.
and just as things went on, and learning about Down syndrome, the one thing I learned was the diagnosis. Almost every single parent has what's called the diagnosis
Yeah.
given to them, and sometimes it's given to them in a great way, and sometimes it's not. More oftentimes than not, it's not given to them in a very good way. And I thought, well, what can I do about that? I don't have that big of kind of influence. I don't have anything like that. So
Yeah.
one morning at work, I just had this idea, and some would say it was kind of a God download. I just had this idea pop in my head, and I wrote it out, and I actually, the two actresses I have in there, Ginger and Sharon and Jay, I reached out to Ginger. I told her, I said, "You're a working actress. What do you think of this idea?" And she loved it. And I said, "Well, I reached out to a few other people, and I'm like, has this been done before?" Just, my idea was to show two scenes. One, the first scene is a doctor giving a prenatal diagnosis to a pregnant mom in a
Hmm.
typical average way. And then
Mm.
the second scene is how we can do it differently. And it shows how it's done in a better way. And, I haven't seen it. It has never been portrayed on film that I
Right.
know of.
Right.
And there's millions of testimonies from moms and dads, good and bad, but there's
Hmm.
never been anything that's portrayed what they've gone through. And
Right.
what this film is, it's not, I can't portray every single way it happened, but it's a way it's most typically happened in the first scene with "I'm sorry," all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's really if you know somebody, a mom or dad that has a child with Down syndrome, just ask them, what was your diagnosis? Because that's a thing. It's a big thing. It's a great community as well. And how much they've embraced me is more than I've embraced them. I love the community because it's huge. It's really bigger than I ever thought it was.
Mm,
And,
mm, mhm.
showing this, you know, producing this film, I had David and Jackson, film it and edit it and just made it wonderful.
Mhm.
And I talked about them on our previous interview, and they're actually making a large feature length film, hopefully soon, with Jay. And Jay
Wow.
is also in. This is his first short film, and Jay has Down syndrome.
Down, yeah.
Just the most
Mhm.
wonderful kid. But
Yeah.
and these two actresses did it beautifully. I couldn't ask for anything better. They really did.
And that's Sharon Lanier
Hmm.
and Ginger Cressman, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah, they did a terrific job, and Jay did too in the
Yeah.
short film that you just did, and portraying the diagnosis. Yes. So now, after the feature film, I guess you would call it, with Jay, any other plans that you have
I'll
for
just
filmmaking?
well, I don't never know what to say because there's I don't really have anything necessarily in the works myself, but it really depends on how God leads me. Right
Yes.
now, I'm just
Yes.
wanting everybody to share this short film. You never know who it's going to touch or whose
Right.
mind or heart it might
That's
soften,
right.
because that's my main goal with this film, is to possibly touch a doctor's heart, a genetic counselor's heart, somebody even in the medical community that might think a little bit before they're giving a
A
diagnosis of Down
diagnosis.
syndrome.
Yeah.
I'm like, how maybe I should handle it differently.
Yes.
Maybe I should, not treat that pregnant mom that's going through all these hormones and everything. Maybe I should treat her a little better, you know,
Yes.
because you never know, um, what a baby with Down syndrome is capable of. Whether they have Down syndrome or not, you never know what a child is capable of,
Absolutely.
and there's no reason to rush to termination or anything else.
Right.
And if it touches hearts, it changes minds. I may not ever know, and that's fine. I have it on websites now. I've had TikTok influencers and other people, other organizations post it and share it. So
Wonderful.
it's gone out all over. One place was really interesting that had shared it, was this organization. I can't remember their names. They're in Croatia, and they got probably
Mm.
the most views out of everybody combined. It was
Wow.
incredible. But it's been, all over the place, and
That's
it's doing really
amazing.
well. Not just on my little YouTube, but you
Yeah.
can see it on my YouTube and on my website.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Jeff, that took a lot of faith
Yeah.
in the Lord there to step out and obey, which is what we should do. When we get those downloads, as you say, from God, then we just need to step out, and then He takes care of the rest. So, tell us about your faith
Well,
working in this.
with this specific project, what's interesting is I was never, when I had this message in my head, I was extremely determined. I was never like, I don't know if I should or shouldn't do this. I mean, I had anxiety through it all about
Yeah,
if it'll get done, how when it'll get
yeah,
done, how it'll look like, all that kind of stuff,
yeah.
the normal things. But I had a very solid determination that of some way, somehow, at some point, I was going to have it done or do it.
Right.
I even told Ginger, I said, even if I have to use my cell phone and I play the doctor or something, we'll do this some way somehow. And of course we didn't, but I
Oh,
never lost that determination, and I
yeah,
think that's, my faith played a role in that, and I
absolutely.
don't know why I never lost
Mm,
that determination,
mhm,
and that's a lot
mhm,
of times what it takes, especially in different industries, including the film industry.
mhm.
Everybody has an idea, but to put
Right.
it into action and actually do it and have it done and put it out for the world is a whole nother thing.
That's right.
Um,
It's a
and it does
process.
take a lot of faith. It really does.
Yeah. every day. Absolutely. Well, let me put up some information here for you, Jeff. More Than a Diagnosis, the short film that Jeff produced, is on YouTube. You can see it there. Also, he has a YouTube channel. More, and then there's a website, morethanafilm.com. That's his website. And then, of course, he is on Facebook and Instagram. And I will also include these in the comment section, all of these links for you so that you can access them uh, very easily. So, Jeff, thank you so much for being my guest today and for sharing with us about your venture into film as a filmmaker and advocate as for Down syndrome.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you.
it's
And
it's a total pleasure. I want to do one quick shout out
sure.
to all the people that made this short film. It's only 3 minutes and 21 seconds, so you can watch it almost anytime, anywhere. And
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to share it anywhere. Even though I made it, I didn't make any loopholes you have to go through. You can message me if you want to share it, or if you just post it. But I want to do a great shout out to everybody that was involved in making it. Even though I could have done it eventually somehow, some way on my own, it wouldn't
Sure.
have came near this level of professionalism. Sharon and Ginger and Jay, love you guys, and David
Yeah.
and Jackson, and there was even another help, Josie. They all did the best. It was like when I was watching it being made, it
Yeah.
was like they're all in my head for a day. I told them all this because it was really weird. It was surreal, and it was just seeing it
In
come
that.
to
So,
life. It
oh,
was it was like a dream. So
that
shout out to all those wonderful people that
absolutely,
helped me put this together. I
absolutely
really love them all. They're
amazing.
all
Yes.
really great people.
Yes. Absolutely. And thank you again, Jeff, for being my guest today. And thank you all for watching. And if you will, please share this video. Let's spread encouragement and hope for people. Also, I want to give a shout out to Abundant TV Network, just a great network for you and your family. Follow me on Spotify and on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have faith and look up, friends, where our help comes from. Bye. God bless.